Hello and welcome to our VinYin practice. We'll start our practice today in our comfortable seated position. And wherever we are, we've got the eyes closed to start. Take the opportunity to start to draw our awareness deep within. Feel your body here on your mat. And just notice how you're feeling through your body today. Let's sit up nice and tall. The spine is long. Even weight between left and right sit bones. The shoulders are nice and relaxed. Move your awareness now to your breath. Feel the natural rhythm and flow of your breath moving in and out of your body. Notice the depth of your breath here. And wherever we are, we'll start to consciously lengthen out here through the breath. Breathe all the way down into your lower belly. Inhale draws in energy and length into the body. On the exhale, we release stagnant energy from the body. Smooth, even breath. Our inhale, the exhale match each other in length. Let's continue to breathe in this conscious way for the next few breaths. After you take your next exhale, release and return to the natural rhythm of your breath. Now, the theme of our practice for today is around the concept of self-study. And self-study is part of the niyamas, which is the second limb of yoga. We'll be moving through a lot of forward bends in our practice. So forward bends are always very introspective. So I invite you to take the opportunity to draw your awareness and turn your awareness deep within. Notice what you discover. Use the next hour of our practice as an opportunity for self-study. Let's spend another 3 of our breaths here before we start to move our body. As we inhale, we can gently open the eyes and we'll bring ourselves straight over onto hands and knees. Knees under hips, hands just forward of the shoulders. And setting up here for cat-cow. As we inhale, we'll start to drop the belly, lift up through your heart center, lift your gaze. Exhale, tuck your chin, rounding your back out. Moving through again, inhale through front body. Exhale, back body opening. We'll continue to breathe in this way for the next few breaths. Starting to bring some heat, some energy, some movement into the spine. We can exaggerate the movement a little bit here. One more round of the same. As we inhale, coming back to a neutral spine, tuck the back toes under. As we exhale, we'll lift those hips up. We're pressing into downward facing dog. So here in your first dog pose, you might like to stay still here. You might choose to bring some movement into your pose by rotating the spine or your hips, pressing one heel towards the mat and then the other. Use this opportunity in dog pose to again notice how you're feeling in your body so that you can adjust your practice accordingly. Let's come back to stillness here. So we're grounding down through the palms and our fingertips. The sit bones are tilting and separating up towards the sky. You might need a little bend in your knees here as we work the heels towards our mat. One more breath. As we inhale, bending the knees, looking forward. Exhale, step the right foot forward. Keep the back knee lifted for now. Keep the gaze to your mat. Pausing here in our high lunge, so we're focusing here on bringing space to those inner hips. So we want to gently draw back on the right hip. Press through the heel of your back foot so that back leg is working here. Bring your awareness to your inner hips. From here, we'll gently drop down onto the back knee. We can keep the fingertips framing that front foot. If you've got blocks at home, you might choose to bring the blocks to either side of the front foot. As we inhale, start to peel that front foot up off the mat. So you might need quite a generous bend in your knee to start. Exhale, bend the front knee. Inhale, straighten, starting to warm up here through that right hamstring. Exhale, bend. And one more of the same here, using your breath. From here, we can flatten down through the palms. Lift the back knee, inhale, and as we exhale, press back, dog pose. Inhale, bend your knees, looking forward. Exhale, step the left foot forward. We'll keep that back knee lifted for now. Coming into that high lunge again, so framing the front foot with the fingertips. We can gently draw back on the left hip. Gaze to your mat. Breathe all the way down into your inner hips. Notice if this side feels any different from the first. So it might feel a little bit more spacious, maybe it's a bit tighter than the right side. From here, gently drop down to your back knee, keeping the fingertips or your blocks as they are. As we inhale, start to lengthen out through that left leg. Exhale, bend. Twice more of the same here with your breath, and remember we're still warming up, so you might need to bend your knee here as we flow through. Flatten down the palms. Inhale, lift the back knee, looking forward. Exhale, stepping forward, coming into Uttanasana. Feet are hip distance apart. You might need to move the feet nice and wide if you can feel the hamstrings aren't quite warm yet. Bend your knees if we need to, and we're coming to fold forward here. So we can either have the fingertips down onto the mat, you might choose to take a hold of the opposite elbows.
We use the inhale to lengthen the spine here. As we exhale, maybe we can fold a little bit deeper. So grounding down through the soles of the feet. We want to breathe into our back body so we can feel here that we're opening up through the hamstrings, up into the lower back. Allow your upper body to be nice and relaxed here. So shoulders, your neck, they're all free of tension. We can let the head hang heavy. Just one more breath. As we inhale, lengthen the spine, and then we're walking the fingertips over towards the left side of the mat. So you might need to bend your knee a little bit more. We can feel that opening is moving more to the outside of the left leg. We can either stay working here with the spine long. If we're going on, use the exhale to fold forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Walk the fingertips all the way over to the right side of your mat. Same again, you might need to bend the knee a little bit here, and as we exhale, we can fold forward. Inhale, coming back to center, and very, very slowly, we begin to roll ourselves all the way up to standing. And we're coming to stand tall in Tadasana, mountain pose. Closing the eyes down. Here in Tadasana, we want to ground down strongly through the soles of our feet. Draw up through your kneecaps, draw up through your low belly. Shoulders relaxed, arms beside the body, and we're extending out through those fingertips. We're standing tall through the crown of our head. Just center yourself here, reconnect to your breath before we start to flow through some sun salutations. As we inhale, we can gently open the eyes and we'll draw the arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold, bring your fingertips to your mat. Inhale, lengthen your spine, Ardha Uttanasana, looking forward. As we exhale, we're stepping our left foot back, gently drop down to the back knee. Inhale, rise up, Anjayasana, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands through heart center, fingertips to the mat. Inhale, we're stepping into plank. The option is to drop down to your knees if you need to. Exhale, chaturanga, all the way to your mat. Press through the tops of your feet. Inhale for cobra. Exhale, press back to downward facing dog. Inhale, float your left leg up. Exhale, step the left foot forward, gently drop down to your right knee. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands through heart center. Inhale, lift the back knee, looking forward. Exhale, step forward. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half lift, looking forward. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands through heart center. We'll flow through that again on the other side as we inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step our right foot back this time. Gently drop down to the right knee. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands through heart center. Inhale, come into plank. Remember, we can drop to the knees if we need to.
Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale for cobra, move your shoulders away from your ears. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg. Exhale, step your right foot forward, gently drop down to your left knee. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands through heart center. Inhale, lift the back knee, looking forward. Exhale, step forward. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands through heart center. We're going to pause here now in Tadasana, eyes are closed. Notice the qualities of your breath. Feel your heart beating, feel the heat in your body. Inhale, gently opening eyes. So if you've got blocks at home or improvised blocks, you might choose now to pop them at the top of the mat, just in case you would like to use them. As we inhale, we'll draw the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step or jump back into dog pose. Inhale, float your right leg up. As we exhale, bend your right knee. We'll start to move that right heel towards the left side of the mat. So try and keep your torso squared off as we open up through the front of the right hip. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, step your right foot forward. So here we're framing our front foot either with our fingertips or our blocks or our improvised blocks. As we inhale, we're going to start to bring some length into that right hamstring. So we want to ground down through the sole of that right foot. Start to lengthen through your right hamstring. Keep the bend in the knee if we need to. We don't want to overstretch that hamstring here. So you might choose to stay working here with the spine long. We want to draw back on the right hip. Spine is lengthened, and if we're going on, we can now use the exhale to fold forward here to the inside of our right leg. So really strong opening here for the right hamstring. So we want to work with the breath here. We're using the exhale to help us to fold a little bit deeper. As I mentioned before, our forward bends are a great opportunity for self-reflection. The theme of our practice, self-study. So we want to use the opportunity now to draw our awareness deep within. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Bend your front knee. We'll step the back foot in a little bit. Walk either our fingertips or our blocks forward. And then from here, we're going to float the left leg up. So here we want to roll that left hip down so the torso is grounded and it's squared off to the mat. Press through the sole of your left foot so that makes sure that that back leg is engaged. And again, really strong opening for the right hamstring and the outer right hip. So we want to breathe into this space. Just one more breath here.
From here, we're going to transition into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. We've got our right fingertips grounded to our block or our mat. Left hand to left hip, we start to rotate through the spine towards the left. So you want to find your drishti, your gaze point here to help you with your balance. If you feel okay here and you'd like to go on, we can use the inhale to float the left fingertips. So fingertips are extending, the left leg is extending, we're engaged here. The last option, if you would like to go on, is to bend the left knee. Take a hold of the top of the left foot. And we're starting to create a little bit of a back bend here. Once we're ready to come out of the pose, use the inhale to gently release. Coming back to center. And then from here, we're going to turn to face the long edge of the mat. So heels out and toes in slightly, coming into a wide leg fold. So grounding down through the soles of those feet, we want to feel as if those sit bones are separating here. The spine is nice and long. As we inhale, we draw length into the spine. As we exhale, we're coming to fold forward here so we can walk our fingertips forward. Really strong opening here again for those hamstrings. You can feel it through our lower back. And we want to work with the breath here. Work with your exhale to create space. We've got the crown of our head working towards the mat. So our head may not touch the mat, but we've got the intention there. Smooth, even, rhythmic breath. Inhale, lengthen your spine, walk the fingertips back. So we're going to come over to the other side now, so we can turn to face the other end of the mat. Bring your blocks with you if you'd like to use them. So we're now framing the left foot with our fingertips or our blocks. Once you're set up, we'll use the inhale to start to lengthen out through the left leg. So you want to draw back on the left hip. Spine is nice and long. Keep a bend in your left knee if you need to. We can either stay working here with the spine long. If we're going on, use your exhale to fold forward here. Working with the exhale to fold a little bit deeper. Take the opportunity here again to turn your awareness deep within. Notice how this left side feels in comparison to the right side. And just notice that without any judgment. Just a few more breaths here. Breathe into that left hamstring. Breathe into your other left hip. Inhale, lengthen your spine, bend your front knee. Step the back foot in a little bit, walk your fingertips or your blocks forward. Once we're set up, we'll use the inhale to float our right leg. So here again, we want to roll that right hip down so the hips and the shoulders are squared off to the mat. Press through the sole of your right foot so the right leg is engaged. You might need to bend your left knee here. See how it feels for you. Just one more breath. From here, we'll start to transition into half moon pose. Left fingertips stay grounded to the mat. Right hand to right hip. We start to rotate through the spine here. So we're drawing back on the right shoulder. keep that back leg extended and engaged. Find your gaze point here. If we're going on, use the inhale to float the right fingertips. Make sure you can maintain your breath here. So the breath is our number one priority here. The option, if we're going on, is to take a hold of the the top of the right foot in the palm of the right hand. Start to create a little back bend here. See if you can lean into your back body. Inhale, gently release. Slowly with control, come back down. Turn to face the long edge of your mat once again. Come into that wide leg fold here again. So we'll set up in the same way we did on the first round. As we inhale, we'll lengthen the spine. As we exhale, we're going for our fold once again. So you might need to keep a little micro bend in your knees. Your hamstrings should be starting to warm up a little bit here. So maybe you can find that you can fold a little bit deeper. But again, we're still working slowly. We're still working mindfully here to consciously draw length into our hamstrings, to the low back. Inhale, lengthen the spine, walk your fingertips back. Bring a little bend into your knees. We'll come to turn to face the top of the mat once again. And then come back into your resting pose. So for you, that might be downward facing dog. You might now come into forward stretch, bringing the knees wide, hips to heels, arms long, third eye to your mat. Center yourself here, reconnect to your breath. If we haven't already, we'll bring ourselves down into forward stretch or even child's pose, wrapping the arms beside the body. We'll spend a few breaths here. We're just grounding ourselves after the standing poses. Inhale, slowly lift your head, come on up to sitting. And then from here, we're coming over into Malasana, our squat pose. So we'll bring the feet as wide as we need to. You may or may not get your heels to the mat. Either variation is okay here. We can either have our fingertips grounded to the mat. You might be able to bring the hands to prayer position. So grounding down through the soles of the feet if we can get those heels down to the mat. If we've got the hands in prayer, we want to press our elbows and the knees in towards each other. So that's going to help us to open up through those inner hips. Spine is long. So we can feel here that we're opening up nicely through the ankles, the knees, our inner hips. You might even choose to close your eyes down here. We won't be here for too long. Nice release here again through the lower back. Inhale, gently open the eyes. From here, we're going to move over into Skandasana. So we can keep the right knee bent and we'll move our weight over to the right side and extend the left leg out. So here again, you may or may not get that right heel to ground down. So either variation is okay. Keep your fingertips grounded if you need to. If we can come into prayer position, we can take that option here. We'll turn our gaze to the big toe
And we can feel now that that nice deep opening through the inside of our legs. And just make sure you're still breathing here. Bring the fingertips down and we'll come all the way over to the other side now. Bend your left knee, right leg extends. You may or may not get your heel to the mat, either variation's okay. Turn the gaze to your big toe. Feel that nice opening through the inside of your right leg. Inhale, come back to center. We're going to step those feet in a little bit here. Come over onto your sit bones. Before we move into our yin poses, we're just going to come into Baddha Konasana. So bring the soles of the feet together, knees are wide. And we're going to take a nice wide variation. So move the feet away from your body. As we inhale, we can lengthen the spine. And on the exhale, we'll come to fold forward here. So we can find a comfortable position for the arms to rest. Breathe into your back body. Just give your back an opportunity to just start to release and surrender. Inhale, slowly lift the head, come on up to sitting. So from here we're coming into our first yin pose, Paschimottanasana. So in this pose we're going to have the legs extended straight out in front. So if you tend to lack height under your hips, you can take a hold of a cushion or a folded up blanket just to give you that little bit of extra height. If you've got a bolster at home, we're going to use our bolster here. If not, we're going to pile up a few cushions and use that as support here. So legs out in front, we've got even weight between left and right sit bones. If you've got your bolster, we'll turn it to the high side just to give us a little bit of extra support. If we're using our cushions, we'll pile up as many cushions as we need to until that we can get that nice restful point for the third eye center. As we inhale, you can draw the arms up and overhead, spine is long. As we exhale, we're coming to fold forward here. So we can find a comfortable position for the arms to rest and just have a little test here and see if you've got enough height here to rest your third eye center. If not, we can grab an extra cushion or whatever we've got handy there. Have a wriggle around, find your comfortable position here to rest. And once we're there, we've got the eyes closed and we resolve to remain still. So here, sticking with the theme of our practice again, we're opening up through the hamstrings and our lower back. Just make sure that you're not holding on to any tension, particularly through your lower belly, your shoulders or your neck. We want to breathe into the back body. We can feel the back and side ribs expand and contract with your breath. Here as we fold, we're working the bladder meridian that runs from our heels all the way up the back body and then pulls in behind our eyes. So we can know and feel in the body here that we're restoring our back body with energy. We're getting energy moving into the bladder organ. take the opportunity here as we're holding for a long period of time, we're folding in onto ourselves. Take the opportunity here for introspection, for that self-study. Notice what you discover here. Just observe without judgment. And say thanks to yourself for giving yourself this opportunity to be still, to have nothing else to think about here other than you in your practice right in this present moment. Let's spend another 5 of our deep breaths here before we start to transition out of the pose. As we inhale very, very slowly, we start to lift the head. Come on up to sitting. Come into your comfortable seated position. Eyes remain closed, and we pause here to give ourselves an opportunity to notice and absorb any effects from our last pose. Feel the energy flowing through your back body. Feel the space in the hamstrings, the lower back. Inhale, you can gently open the eyes. Now from here, I'm going to give you 2 different options for the next pose. So you might choose, if you're feeling quite a bit of energy moving into your hamstrings already, you might choose to take this option. So we're just going to come back into Baddha Konasana where we were earlier, bound angle pose. So soles of the feet together, knees are wide. And if you take this option, you might either stay with the spine long with the eyes closed. If you wanted to fold forward, that's our second option here. So that's option 1. Option 2, if you want to work a little bit deeper into the hamstrings and the inner hips, is to come into a wide leg fold. So if we're taking this variation, we bring the legs out as wide as feels comfortable for you. So same as when we're working in our forward bends, we want to make sure we're not going to overstretch our hamstring anywhere here. So feet come out nice and wide. And we want to make sure we're sitting up on those sit bones, so you might need to just adjust your weight here. And we'll be coming to fold forward. So we're going to use our bolster or our piled up cushions or bed pillows here as well to support the front body. So just decide here which pose you'd like to take, either your wide leg fold or your bound angle pose. As we inhale, we can draw length into the spine. On the exhale, we start to fold forward here. So again, you might need to just have a wriggle around. Find the best and comfortable position here for your body to rest, for your arms to rest. You might turn your head gently to one side. Once we've found our position, we've got the eyes closed, we're still in the pose. So there's a lot going on here for both poses. We're working the liver, kidney and spleen meridians, so they run through the insides of our legs. We're still working the bladder meridian because we're folding forwards, we're in that forward bend. We've been practicing for a little while now, so you shouldn't have too much trouble drawing your awareness within and somewhat shutting out the outside world here. Just bring your awareness to your breath. Notice the rhythm and the qualities of your breath here. So we should now have a deep, rhythmic and even breath. We're using that inhale to draw in the length and the prana, life force energy into the body. As we exhale, we release stagnant energy from the body, and the exhale gives us that opportunity to move deeper into our pose. If you had your head turned to one side, we'll just gently lift the head, turn the head to the opposite side for the duration of the pose here. Just a few more breaths here before we start to transition out of the pose. As we inhale, slowly lift your head, come on up to sitting. If we're in Baddha Konasana, we can just bring the knees together. If we're in this wide leg variation, we're going to bring the hands underneath our thighs. We're going to move our weight backwards, so rocking back onto our sit bones, and then we can draw the legs in towards the center, and again come to find your comfortable seat. And we're going to pause here with the eyes closed. Notice and absorb the effects of that pose, so we can feel the energy moving through the insides of our legs, through the hamstrings, the lower back. Inhale, gently open the eyes. From here, we're going to bring ourselves all the way down onto our mat. And we're just feeling the mat beneath us here. From here, we're going to draw our knees in towards our chest. So we just want to release out through our lower back a little bit here after those deep forward bends. So you might start to take a little gentle rock here from side to side. And then we'll come back to center. Bring those knees out nice and wide, and then draw the knees in towards your chest. So we'll keep our sacrum grounded here. Spine is nice and long on the mat. Draw the knees back in towards the center. And we'll just have a little rock here again. From here, we can gently release. Just bring yourself back up to sitting. So one last pose to go here. So because we've done so many forward bends in the practice, we're going to counterbalance with doing one final back bending or heart opening pose. And we're going to take Matsyasana, which is our fish pose. So we want to have some height underneath our back body. So there's a few ways you can do that. If you've got a bolster, we can use that. That's probably the most comfortable option. Or we can use our bed pillows or our cushions. If you happen to have a block at home and you like a really deep variation of this pose, you can lay your back body down onto your block. So wherever we are, we've got that nice cushioning for the back body. We can lay the back body down. Arms can rest beside the body. So traditionally we'd have the legs extended straight out in front for our fish pose. It might feel better for your lower back to have a bit of a bend in your knees. Just see how it feels for you here. Have a bit of a wriggle around. Find a nice comfy spot for your body to rest. Have a wriggle around. Find a nice comfortable spot for you to rest. And once we're there, we've got the eyes closed and we'll resolve to remain still here. So we're now bringing energy into our front body. So we've done a lot of work with the back body energy in this practice, with the forward bending, the hamstring opening. So now we want to counterbalance that by bringing some energy now into the front body. And we want to breathe deeply into the front body. Feel the rise and fall of your chest with your breath. We're now working into the stomach and the gallbladder meridians that run through the front of the body. We're getting energy moving into our lungs, our thyroid. This is a really great pose to bring energy into the respiratory system. Nice and open and receptive pose. You can feel here the chest, the shoulders are nice and open. We can feel the heart center nice and open here. We can breathe into this space. Visualize your heart center, your heart chakra being restored with energy. Let's spend another 5 of our deep breaths here before we start to transition out of the pose. As we inhale, we can gently open the eyes. Bring a little bend into the knees if we haven't already. Just bring yourself up to sitting. We'll pause here, keep the eyes closed, and just feel the space we've created through the front body. Notice and absorb any effects of that pose. Inhale, gently open the eyes. From here, we're bringing ourselves down onto our back once again. And we'll draw the knees in towards our chest. Really hug those knees in nice and close towards the body. We'll start to roll around in one direction, getting that nice massage through the lower back, so you can probably feel your
Lower back's had some work through the practice today, so nice little massage here. And then we'll come back in the opposite direction. Coming back to center, gently release. Bring the soles of the feet back down to the mat, arms beside the body. Take an inhale here. As we exhale, we can drop the knees to one side. Use the inhale to come back to center. Exhale, knees come to the opposite side. Inhale to center. We'll keep working in this way for the next few breaths. Just getting a bit more of a release here through the lower back. That nice rotation here through the spine. And once we've moved through an even amount of times to either side, we can come back to center. Hug the knees in towards our chest one last time. Gently release. And we're setting ourselves up now for our final rest in Shavasana. Feel free to bring any props onto your mat that you'd like to use for your Shavasana. So you might like to pop your pillows or your bolster under the line of your knees. You might want to continue with that front body opening, popping the bolster underneath your torso. Wherever we are, we've got the legs straight out in front. We can let the feet flop out to the side. The spine is nice and long on your mat. Arms rest beside the body, palms facing up towards the sky. Eyes are closed if they aren't already. We'll allow the weight of our body to begin to melt down into our mat. Run a scan through your body and make sure you're not holding on to any residual tension throughout your body or your mind. This is our time for rest, for restoration, for relaxation. Very slowly now we're starting to bring the awareness back. Starting to become aware of your surroundings. Start to bring some gentle movement back into your body. Invite a nice deep breath into your body, stretching out through arms and legs. Bending your knees, will gently roll to the right hand side. Just pause here for a few moments. And only once you feel ready, you can bring yourself up into a comfortable seated position. Eyes remain closed. We'll draw the hands to heart center in Anjali Mudra, prayer position, bowing the head down. As we close our practice together, we'll just internally practice gratitude for the many blessings in our life. And just take note of what you discovered throughout your practice and your self-study. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste.